12th Annual Elevator Pitch Competition. I wanted just to kind of start us out by talking about this, because I think there's a lot of confusion about it because of the name. Elevator pitch refers to a timing issue. And an MBA student at Harvard once said, if you really believe in yourself, you should be able to pitch yourself from the time it takes to go from the first floor to the 26th floor. You should know yourself well enough to be able to do that. Forbes magazine said in professional interviews, this question comes with many incantations. So tell me about a time you overcame weakness. Tell me about something you conquered. Tell me about a strength that you have. And sometimes it's as generic as I've had this one. Tell me more about yourself. Boom, you give your pitch. What people don't realize all the time is that people practice these things, and I didn't have one at all. My first professional interview, I started shooting cotton balls on my mouth. I just looked at the guy and I'm like, I don't have one. I don't know. I got the stuff anyway, luckily, but I would have shoe in. So we take this very seriously here because we are a business school, and we primarily confer those degrees. We need our students to be able to walk into that conference room and be ready to talk on and on. And I also had that happen my first job. Learned about that job. Walked in after going to a conference and said, my boss said, hey, tell us 3 things we can start engaging in here this week that you learned at the conference. Whoa. So this kind of gets us ready to do that, and it makes us, I think it makes Nichols a unique place. And it's just one aspect of what we do, because I know last week there was all these mock interviews, and that's done through the Career and Professional Development Center under this organ, and that's another component of getting our students ready to enter a very competitive business world. So, our other tradition is we had the winner from last year. I can never find the next day. The winner from last year is Dave Smith. He's going to be your MC for the host for the evening.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Fabulous.
Great. Awesome to hear. I'm glad you guys all came to see me up here again. It's awesome. I mean, I've been waiting a full year to have you guys all back here. So, as just mentioned, welcome to the Elevator Speech Competition. This is going to be a 50 to 70 second speech. All of our students up here in the front row are going to get their chance at winning $500 in that first place spot, followed by second for $400 and third for $300. Now, they're all trying to follow in my footsteps, I know. This video is up on YouTube, and I know you guys have been studying me, so you guys are ready to go. Every student's going to have one restart, so if they mess up once, they'll have one chance to redo it, and a couple students have thankfully utilized that in the past, and for good reason. And I think that's more like the top 3 students won because they got to reset. It was so much better the second time. So anyway, going to the judges. We have the 4 judges right here. I think 3 of you guys are returning for last year, except for Tara.
Well, I'm kind of returning.
Technically returning. Returning first time to the judge. Yeah.
True.
It's fantastic. So I'm going to go down a little first. So we have friend Carla. Stand up. Round of applause. So Mr. Carlo is a 1990 graduate of Nichols and the founder and president of Lakeside Advisors, a business advising company who works with organizations both large and small. He's also a mentor for the Venture Forum in Worcester, where he's helping other entrepreneurs. Friend and his wife, Dawn, also a Nichols alum, recently acquired an existing salon and spa in Hudson, Massachusetts. Friend and Dawn have been generous sponsors of the prize money for competition since 2017. He sits on the Nichols College Board of Advisors and is a previous co-chair. Awesome. Julian Coyle. Step up. She's a 2009 graduate of Nichols and also holds 2 master's degrees from here. She did her MBA in 2011 and her MSOL in 2016. Jillian, I'm sorry, I mispronounced you the first time, is a senior manager of corporate compliance and clinical contracts at Amwell. She also sits on the Nichols College Board of Advisors and has been another generous prize money sponsor for the past 2 years. So thank you for that again. Caitlin Havner-Mocha. I'm so sorry to mispronounce your name.
You guys.
She graduated from Nichols in 2012 and has then earned her MBA in 2017. She served as the Director of Admissions at Nichols from 2019 to 2021, as an adjunct instructor from 2016 to 2021. She currently leads her Education Division's Customer Service Area, PTC. She also sits on the Nichols College Board of Advisors. A lot of Board of Advisors here. Yes. And last but not least, Tara Oshtamaki. Over here last year, you might remember her. She was the champion here in 2022 and graduated. Came back to serve as Master of Ceremonies in 2023, where I graciously met her. It's fantastic. She did a great job. I'm the one, not only did I try to take her title when I won last year, but now I'm trying to be here at the Master of Ceremonies here this year, so me and you competing always.
You'll be here next year.
It's gonna be awesome, I can't wait. After she graduated from Nichols, she started her own social media marketing company called Making It Marketing. They do a great job. I worked with them for a bit. Where she's the founder and CEO. She's also a member of Bold, Bison in the last decade. Well done to you. This is my notes in order. Stop letting me run the show and give it over to some of the students. He's ready. So first up on the list we have Greg Carmel.
Hello everyone, I am a freshman here at Nichols College, studying clinical psychology with a minor in history. With these degrees, I am hoping to become a middle school counselor to help students with disabilities who need the extra support. I have experience in 5th grade classrooms where I help students with their focus and assignments that they may have needed extra time on. I also have 8 years of volunteer work at an animal shelter in my hometown of Pittsfield, Massachusetts. With these experiences, I have organizational skills, team building skills, teamwork skills, and just many other very positive things. I also have experience in cultural work, where I went to Guadeloupe for French immersion, Iceland, where I got to learn about the community there, and I also went to Virginia for a history program to learn in depth about where America really started and how we came to be. I hope that this has been great, and I thank you for listening to my speech.
We're gonna do the best of it part. Do the best of it.
Oh, please do.
Very nice job. So, I'm Fran. It's always hard to be the first one, everybody. So that, always give you a little extra, right? So, a couple of quick things I wanted to let you know. Really, you can tell that you knew your material, but you were clearly nervous. But you started to loosen up, even though you stumbled a little bit. What I mean by that is, I can see that you were gesticulating with your left hand a little, and then you loosened up. But as you were midway through your speech, you actually started kind of scanning the room versus kind of just being locked in on one specific spot in time. So maybe just kind of work on being looser earlier, and I think the rest of the information will flow. But great content, and really enjoyed listening to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I agree with Fran on pretty much everything he said there. The thing that really struck me first when you started speaking is I thought to myself, wow, she has a really nice speaking voice. And at the beginning, you sounded really confident in what you were talking about. And I did the same thing when I was up there. The further you get into it, the more you're like, oh my goodness, I don't remember if this is the right thing to say. So we could tell that a little bit. And my best advice to you is don't be afraid to show your personality. I think you were very rehearsed, which is great, but if we could just get a little bit more inflections in your voice, just showing us who you are as a person. That's all we want to see here tonight. So overall, great job. Like Fran said, don't be afraid to loosen up. I hope you come back here next year with this much more confidence, and that'll be awesome for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Alright, you guys say you're super ready to come up. You ready? Yeah. Alright, who's going on stage?
Hello, everyone.
Let's take a restart.
Alright. Hello, everyone. From an early age, I realized that life is not easy. It's honestly really hard. But I've come up with this philosophy that the hardest path is the way to success. When I was 7, I lost my father. My father was an aspirated entrepreneur with high dreams for success. Where I am is that I'm a very hungry entrepreneur who wants something out of my life. But I've known that it's not easy to get there, and that people like to say no to entrepreneurs. People like to, wish down on them, not believe that they can be successful. Wish them for failure. But I believe that failure is good. I believe that the hard path is the way to go, to be successful. Because if you don't go the hard path, and you don't go the right way, you won't succeed in life. And I've seen that philosophy, and I've started to notice it. As I started my own landscaping business, I've started being very successful with that. I come to Nichols College, and I'm very, very driven. And I take pride in being the president of the Entrepreneurship Club. And I hope that one day, Nichols College can look back and see me as my dream came true, and that giving generational wealth to me and my family is what I'll have, and I'll finish what my dad started. Thank you.
Hey Gio, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Caitlin.
Nice to meet you, Caitlin.
You did a great job.
Thank
Awesome job. First off, I really appreciate that you shared a very personal story right off the bat regarding your father. I think you had tough things to immediately speak to, and you didn't even need to warm up for that. You went right into it, and I thought that was extremely impressive. I can see you have quite an entrepreneurial spirit, and you have a really great just spirit about you. I'm assuming how you presented tonight is probably often how you carry yourself in the real world outside of the stage, hopefully.
Right, correct.
That's awesome. You definitely carried that really well. One piece of feedback I'll give you is with your pacing a little bit. So that's the only thing I'd love to see you work on. Your eye contact was phenomenal. I think that can be the hardest thing to get across really clearly, and you did an excellent job there. I want to see you walk with some like power, right? Like make sure every move really counts on the stage. A tip I recently got was pretend the stage is almost like a half circle. And start from one point of the half circle, make your way into the middle, then move to the other end of the half circle and back again. That will really just help you with maybe some of that nervous kind of pacing back and forth where you're really walking with confidence on the stage. But you were well on your way, and I'm sure by next year if we saw you do this again, it would probably be that perfect, power stance while you're presenting. So excellent job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great job, Gio. I think I disagree a little. I think you carried yourself very well. You come up with a lot of confidence. I think your pace was perfect. You paused at the right moments. Sometimes when I get nervous, I tend to ramble, and if you were nervous, I never would have known because you did a really good job at pacing yourself. My one bit of feedback, I wish you divulged a little more about your landscaping business and got into some of your qualities in your business and how you started the business. I think that really would have kind of put the pieces together for me, but you drew me and you made that kind of personal connection in the beginning when you talked about your dad. But I gave you a name just because of that, the landscaping business part. I wanted to know a little more, but great job overall.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Great job, Gio.
sports marketing industry is even harder. I myself want to be seen as something other than just a woman. I want to be seen as a student, an athlete, a friend, a hard worker, and someone who can voice themselves in a way that can stand up to everything else that society portrays. Working in the sports marketing industry has been a dream of mine since I started college. As my collegiate journey has gone on, of course I've gotten nervous and I've definitely felt that I've gotten really far in life, but at the same time I also know that I'm enhancing my skills and learning so much each and every day in my classroom. On campus, I'm involved with so many different organizations and clubs, and you often will find me in the school's dining area, as that's where I work. But by allowing myself to be a part of these clubs, I've enhanced my socialization skills and my engagement skills with my fellow peers and my fellow athletes that are also sitting in this room along with me. So as I continue to begin my journey through college, I believe that I will allow myself to learn more and gain more knowledge in the marketing industry. With that being said, learning in the marketing industry as a woman is going to be hard, and that's a challenge that I'm willing to take head on. So thank you so much all for listening, and thank you for your time.
Allie, hi.
Hi.
All right, we meet again, right?
Yeah.
So we were early together talking about this. So first of all, I'm gonna say, you didn't know which way you were gonna go, walking around the podium, but you made the podium work for you. You didn't do the depth clutch, which is great. So keep that in mind, anyone else who's doing the podium. What I liked about your speech is it came off very humble, okay? You were looking forward. You were taking us on your kind of forward-looking journey. You did a nice job scanning through your eyes, so you listened to one of the things I mentioned to you early on, so great job with that. And the only thing I would say is, because there were a couple of spots in this that was very personal, you could have probably used to hear more inflection in your voice, which would have incorporated a little bit of passion. But again, I think the way it came off, I think really, really worked for you. So nice job.
Thank you.
Hey, I think you did a great job. I really enjoyed your hook of, saying like being a woman is hard, being a woman in sports marketing is hard. A good hook is what every speech needs, it's what every post needs, it's what everything needs. So you did a really great job drawing this in there. Same thing like Fran said, great job just kind of carrying. I think you carried a really similar tone throughout, which worked well for your speech. My feedback for you would be, don't be afraid to use your body language to tell your story a little bit more. I know that's hard when you are behind the podium, but I'd love to see you try it, another time without that. And then the other part in the speech is it did feel like some parts you were listing things, so like saying, I did this and this and this. So maybe next time just try to expand on those instead of just putting them all in one, because you have so many great qualities and things, and we just want to hear more about it. I know it's so hard with the time constraints, but overall, great job. Super proud of you for this.
Thank you.
Allie, circle back real quick. When you talk about this, okay? Don't be afraid, folks, to say, yeah, these next three things, or this series of four things. Because people will then register that and remember that as part of your speech.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you.
All right, now we have returned to the podium. Sophia Leonardi, running from last year, did really good. And three others here.
I wanted to picture a piece of carbon and a diamond. It might not look like it, but they're both made from the same element, carbon. The only difference between them is the circumstances they undergo to be what they are. One of them is quickly formed and can be easily destroyed. The other one might take years, decades, or even millions of years to be formed, but it is indestructible. Now you might be wondering, what am I trying to say with this? What I'm trying to say is that everyone in this room is born as a carbon, but we all have the power to turn into diamonds. This power is a choice, which I choose to make every single day. A choice of handling pressure and not quitting, but letting it forge my character. Marilyn Monroe once said, "The diamonds are a girl's best friend," and I could not agree more. They represent strength, resilience, and brightness, which is what I base my values upon. Now, my desire is to overflow this value into excellence in everything I do. And I believe the internship position in your company is the best opportunity for that. My name is Sophia Leonardi. Thank you for your attention.
Sophia, great job, a lot of confidence, well spoken. I loved the analogy you made. You started to talk and I wanted to know where is she going with this, and then finally you put all the pieces together. It was great. Again, the only reason I think I might be the only one who didn't give you a 10, I just wish you spoke a little bit more about your experience and how great you are and what makes you so great rather than kind of telling the story. But you really captured me. You carried yourself beautifully and great job.
Hey Sophia, nice to see you back again up on stage. Obviously, you've been very memorable since we remembered you from last year back to this year, so I was really excited to see you just with that much more confidence than you had even the year before, so that was really excellent. And that being said, I encourage anyone who performs tonight to come back next year, because this is kind of the reason why we keep doing it, right? It takes practice. And you're going to constantly practice, and you're going to spend your whole life practicing the art of publicly speaking and feeling confident in the workplace. It's an ongoing kind of thing you'll always focus on. I thought you had a really strong start. I was actually surprised that you did the restart. I feel like you got in your head a little bit there for a minute, just looking at the crowd.
Yeah.
That's okay, it happens. But I thought you rebounded really nicely. You had quite a powerful speech, and it was really moving, the analogy, like Jill mentioned. I wanted to give you a 10 because I felt like your confidence really conveyed all of your emotions. I would say I would have loved to see what are you going to do with that outcome being this amazing diamond in this big bold world, right? Like, why should that company make that investment in you? What are you going to provide to them, in perpetuity and the time of you being there? So that's the only piece I would add. I think you just maybe it was a timing thing, but you just cut me short. Like, I just had it. I was like, I want to know what you're going to do with all of this. So don't be afraid to continue to tell that story, but amazing job.
Thank you so much.
Way to set the bar early. Oh my God. It's number 4. We have a long way to go. All right. Nicholas Nasuti, you ready to take the throne?
That is an unfortunate to go right after. Hello everybody, as you may have heard, my name is Nichols College, and I am an apprentice in construction, and I am going to try and become a construction manager. As of right now, I have 4 years of construction knowledge in my high school, Black Valley Tech, where I got my education. And construction is one of those things that is really a passion of mine. I've been around it my whole life, right since my childhood. My dad, all of his friends are either engineers, somewhat in the construction industry, so I've had tools in my hands since I can even remember. Here at Nichols, I am taking the general business courses so I can really expand and get into the knowledge on how to take that all in and really start my own company, or at one day become a construction manager. Construction is one of those things that is really tough on the body, so that's why I like to say that I'm going to change into a construction manager later in my life, so that I can really get that strain off my body. And construction is one of those things that is also going to be around for a very long time. It's going to be something that we always need, and everyone is going to need construction at one point in their life, so thank you. Have a great time.
Great job. I think if you were nervous, we couldn't tell. Oh, sorry, I forgot. That was my bad. I totally forgot how to say that for like a second. I was just so excited to give you feedback. I really liked your speech. I thought you're very well spoken, and I like the way that you use your body language to tell the story. Don't be afraid to talk more about yourself rather than the subject matter at hand, because I feel like I learned a lot about construction, but not enough about you. And then my only other thing is I have a lot of great connections in the construction industry, so if you want any intros, feel free to reach out to me after this. So great job. Yeah, of course.
Hey, Nick, good job. It's kind of funny, Kara said she forgot, and I'm one of you with senior moments. So my feedback is this. I think that your story was very compelling. I think it kind of tied into who you are, where you're going, so I think you did a nice job bringing us along in your journey. You definitely got more comfortable with your using of your hand and your hand gestures to kind of lead us to the next step. I would just probably say two things to think about is you're going to be on stage there, you were rocking a little bit as you're nervous starting, and then you kind of settled in. So just think about that a little. To Kate's point earlier, is kind of maybe move around a little bit. And the same thing with your eyes. I saw, it's kind of like a linebacker here for a few minutes. You're kind of locked in on us versus the rest of the room. So think about the rest of your audience. But otherwise, great job.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Sophia Williams.
Hello, my name is Sophia Williams, and I would love to tell you a little about myself. I see that you have an opening for an aquatics director position, and I think that's right up my alley. Currently, I'm an assistant aquatic director in line in the next coming years to come, but right now I'm a deck lead at my local YMCA. To me, being a deck lead means being a leader, helping others thrive, and also myself, being able to have great customer service, focusing on water safety, helping those around me. Some certifications that I have is I currently am a notary public for the state of Massachusetts. I'm also certified in CPR, first aid, AED, oxygen, cat and dog, CPR, just to name a few. To me, being a leader means being strong, being able to overcome challenges, difficult conversations with members, difficult conversations with families, anyone around me. Being able to overcome challenges within myself, finding new ways to lead others, new ways to teach children around me, and be able to make the youth thrive. Those are some qualities that I think are very important to me, that I'm very passionate about. I'm passionate about serving the youth and helping the youth of America grow and thrive into great adults someday. And that's why I believe that this position would be great for me. Thank you so much.
As you just heard, my name is Ethan Manerick, and I'm a freshman here at Nichols College. I'm a double major in finance and business analytics. And while maintaining a 4.0 GPA in my first semester of college, I'm also on the men's basketball team here. And that has taught me many lessons such as self-accountability, teamwork, and having a good and effective work ethic. This has really taught me how to be effective with all my work in both the classroom and on the court. And to tell you a little bit about myself, if you were to ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I will tell you that I do not know the answer. But I'll tell you one thing. I will work endlessly to find the answer. And that comes in with my hard work and work ethic to make sure that I can achieve all my goals and be successful. And with that being said, I'm very eager to learn more about the financial industry and to try to be a successful employee in the future. And I really appreciate all the time that you take out of your day to come listen to all of our speeches. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am here to convince you why I should be your salesman. Over the past 15 years, I have studied and practiced teaching Taekwondo, which is a Korean unarmed martial art. And through that long journey, I've obtained a senior instructor position as well as a third-degree black belt. And doing so has taught me many of the soft skills that I think are crucial for a salesman, such as critical thinking, being able to be calm and patient with your clients, and ultimately being able to change on the fly. Now, not only do I have the soft skills of a salesman, I also have the sales experience. Over the past 3 years, I've been in the sneaker reselling business, which is vastly growing and changing. And through that, I've learned crucial negotiation skills. I've been able to create relationships with clients and other business owners, and I've ultimately been able to learn how to use technologies to keep up with trends and markets. Now, here's the thing. I believe that I can sell you this pen better than the Wolf of Wall Street. I can sell you these shoes better than Nike, and you give me the opportunity, I can sell your product for the top dollar. Thank you.
Judges on the score evenly yet across the board.
I'll jump in since I gave you the nine, which
Please do.
Well, first off, I can't believe that you went into the speaker business because you're killing me with the dunks. I was like, look at this confidence.
I appreciate
me
that.
with this. I saw it from a mile away. I was here for. I was very much captivated by your presence. Presence is such a hard thing to bring, and you totally brought it. I've spent most of my professional career working or a part of sales functions, sales teams at some point. So if you want to talk at some time in your life, I'd be happy to connect you with some fabulous sales leaders that will help you well on your way. I think sales is an incredible skill that oftentimes college students fear, and I think you're like facing it head on and like ready to hit it. I love the pen. You got me on Wolf of Wall Street. I thought it was all fantastic. I think the only thing I want to see from you is your confidence was there. I just felt like I wanted to buy in fully and something was holding you back. Like, I want you to be a little bit yourself and not as rehearsed. I felt like there was a couple parts of it that felt like a little rehearsed, and I just love to see that like natural energy versus like what I felt like was slight force of energy, but at the same time, I think I'm just being a harsh critic on this. I really, really liked you. I can't believe I gave you a 9 with everything. That's what I want to see next time, just like a little bit more natural.
Well, thank you very much, anyways.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you.
And I kind of agree with that. I think at some points it was a little over the top, but in sales you kind of have to be. You brought a lot of energy, a lot of confidence. I wanted to keep listening to you. You dragged me in, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do in a sales role. So I thought it was great. You put in the black belt a little bit in there, which is really impressive. Congrats. But overall, I think you're going to be a great salesman, whatever you're going to sell. Excellent job.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna go follow the stage. We're just gonna happen. I'll come on stage. Very last name. Oh my God. All right. Susanna Walsh. Got your name right for the 4th time. Finally, you got it right. This is one.
Mental illness surrounds each and every one of us, whether it be our friends, our family, or even ourselves. At an early age, my mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar. Although this was hard, I learned how to be patient, kind-hearted, and caring to those around me. My mother is not just my mother, but she is my best friend. Those who struggle with the same issues shouldn't be treated any differently because we're all human. I learned to see things that others haven't, and I learned to empathize with those who are frequently overlooked. Taking these personal experiences into real-life opportunities would be great for me to extend my knowledge in this line of work and to also be able to care for those professionally, and to also prove my statement that people are just people no matter what. Just like my mom, I see them no differently. Thank you.
Wow, look at you, the first one with all 10s across the board. Congratulations. I was sitting here thinking, like, what can I give her for feedback? And I still can't really think of anything. I think, like, your body language was really appropriate for the story that you're telling. You know, obviously you're telling everyone, like, open up more, be, like, you know, have more inflections. But you told a story that hits home and is close to your heart. And I think you just carried that out beautifully. So great job. I'm really just super impressed by your speech, honestly. Great job. Thank you.
Hi again. So I was here earlier when you were practicing, so I'm glad you took a couple ideas into the heart. So great job on stage. You worked the walk back and forth, your eyes and your scanning and using your hands and gesticulating perfectly. I think the way I put into words that Tara was just saying is the way you use your body language on such a challenging topic was brave, and you kind of made me feel safe. Okay, so at times you were walking, it was almost like that self-hug going on. You kind of brought us in and made us feel, you know, warm and welcome, and it was okay. So fantastic with what you did.
Thank you.
we've had.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to begin my speech with a quote from John F. Kennedy, and it is, "The best time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining." Throughout my first year here at Nichols College, I've been fortunate enough to meet several bright young individuals who, on top of being full-time students here at Nichols, are also small business owners. I would like to implement an economy here on campus that is solely driven off of these small student-run businesses. I would also like to incorporate a mentorship program which utilizes alumni to be able to give real professional advice to these students in their day-to-day operations. As well, similar to a job or career fair, which are also held on campus here, I would like to have small business fairs allowing students to showcase their businesses and be able to network with other students here on campus, potentially creating jobs for these students as well. Lastly, I would like to utilize the offices here on campus and buildings to allow students to have office spaces to conduct their day-to-day operations. Thank you for your time, and let's make sure they have a strong roof for a very bright future here at Nichols.
Great job, Zachary. Good pace, you look very professional, very put together. You talk a lot about what you want to implement, which I think is wonderful. You have a vision, but I'd like to hear a little more about what skills you bring, how you're going to implement them. And just the fact that you did a good job too in the beginning of kind of having an opening, a body, and then an end. So it kind of told a story from beginning to end, which I thought was great. But again, I wish you focused a little more about how you were going to implement and carry through with some of those great ideas you have. Good job overall.
Thank you. And I am running for vice president for the class of 2027.
Well, it's actually hot in the campaign trail already, which is good to see. First off, I mean, you got me with a JFK quote. That's my favorite president. So you did a nice job bringing in an element of the quote. I mean, it's always, you can go either way with it, right? Like, what's this quote going to do? Because you're making a really purposeful point right off the bat, and you're hoping to bring in your audience. So I think it landed very nicely, especially in relation to what you wanted to talk about tonight. First off, we're all part of board of advisors, advice in the last decades, and you had some pretty great ideas, so we'd love to help you get those happening here on campus, so we should definitely chat later. That's just a side note. But I could see your campus leadership strengths really showing through, and more importantly, how much you care. I think you had a really nice, caring, calm approach throughout your speech, all throughout. I think kind of like what Jill said though, I just want to learn a little bit more about you. Like, how are you going to benefit from this experience? What are all the amazing things that you want to see out of it for yourself, so that us as listeners can all learn about you? I think you're almost like a little too humble. And that's why I gave you an 8, because in an elevator pitch competition, you know, you've got 30 seconds, 60 seconds, what have you, to really sell yourself. You sold your ideas, but I didn't feel like you sold you. So that's where I'd like to see you bring that in for next time.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
A lot of clapping. Yeah, a lot of support. So we're about halfway through. Well, a little more to go. I want to touch on something real quick that I think is kind of funny. So Professor Remus, right here, my professor, who walked right through the line. Now she's won how many? 100 students?
Right now, a few.
A decent amount.
She likes to brag about how many of her students have won this thing.
I'm aware. So,
which I love about her. That's why I keep coming back.
With that being said, up next we have a student who is not one of hers, and who I would love to see take the gold from Professor Remus. Anita Bialis, welcome to the stage. Good luck.
So, I'm bilingual, and I wasn't always proud of that as a kid, and one story that comes to mind very quickly is my mom. who has a very strong accent, was trying to tell a story about foxes outside to my cousin's boyfriend. And with her accent, it did not come out like fox. And I think we all know which word I'm thinking of. And it was in that moment, he laughed at her. And I just felt like, I'm like, how can you laugh at her for trying to speak a second language? And in that moment, I realized I wanted to help those people who either are having a second language, feel like an outsider, and I know how it feels being bilingual, and that's why I wanted to go into therapy, and that's really why I feel like I'd be very suited to be a therapist, because I can understand those who don't feel like they fit in. Thank you.
How you doing? You glad it's over?
A little bit.
Well, we saw that on your face a little bit too, so I want to say, nice job with the storytelling. All right, so one of the first things, I mean, obviously with a topic like that, we knew you were going somewhere, it was going to likely be very personal, so it's tough sharing that. Great use of your hands to kind of pull us in, which you were actually doing. I don't know if it was on purpose, but you're definitely doing it. The one thing I want to say is that you looked a little bit nervous in the face and in your body language, especially in the first half to a third. But then you just softened up and you got comfortable and you kind of rolled into it. So one of the things is I would share with everybody is as you're practicing these things, you're probably in a mirror. It's kind of hard, just being in a mirror, because now you walk in on yourself. Walk around a little bit, kind of picture the environment. I know a few of you came here early on the stage, but one practice isn't enough, so it's kind of like being an athlete, but nice job.
Thank you.
Sorry, I still have to speak. Overall, I think you did a really nice job telling the story. I would like to see a little bit more confidence. My best advice to you is please don't start any other speeches with the word so. Because I want you to draw us in, and so it's just kind of like I don't know, it's just a little bit more questionable. The speech did feel a little bit conversational, so I think there's a fine line between like to rehearse, like we've talked about with some of the other contestants, and then conversational, but also like you just need to own the room, and I think that's where that comes from the line of like, this isn't a conversation, this is me telling my story, really speaking to the room and the audience there. But overall, great job. Would love to see you come back next year and hear another story that you have to tell. So great job.
Thank you.
I'm trying to run through the car already, it makes sense. Alright, let me get my next week. Rachel, you're here. Okay, let me try to get your last name correct. Hold on. Romanka? Yes. Age of silence. It's an awesome name, I love it.
Hi, good evening everybody. My name is Rachel Romanka, and I'm a freshman here at Nichols. Yes, believe it or not, I actually do go here. You probably haven't seen me around campus because I'm pretty underground, but I've been working on putting myself out there, which is why I'm standing in front of you tonight. So, a few things about me. I grew up in a very small town on the Connecticut shoreline called Clinton. I absolutely hated it. Growing up, I always told my parents, why did you make me grow up in a small town? There's no opportunities here. Absolutely hated it. You're probably wondering, if you hated being in a small town, why Dudley, Massachusetts? So, I actually decided to come to Nichols because of a quote that my parents have always told me that I actually didn't understand until very recently. That quote is, wherever you go, there you are. I have spent so long trying to understand what this quote means, and I finally recognize it being here at Nichols. So basically, just using your entire potential wherever you are and being your full self. It doesn't matter how big or small the community you're in is, as long as you're your full self and use everything that you know and your knowledge to your full potential, you can succeed regardless. And it takes a lot, and it doesn't happen overnight, but I have learned that you're going to have to suffer to succeed sometimes. Thank you.
Sorry, we're deciding who to go. Nice job, Rachel. I thought you had such a lovely presence, and I can't believe you claim to be underground. I would never have guessed this in a million years. I don't even know what that means, but I definitely want to see you out and about on Center Road as much as you are confidently able to be. I could not believe you're a first-year student. I would never have guessed that. So I learned a little bit about you tonight, which was really nice, and that's a good goal of an elevator pitch speech, is making sure the audience really believes, remembers something really key about you. That quote, I can tell, carries a lot of meaning in your life, and I think that will probably help you on your future and then probably your remaining years here on campus. I have a feeling you'll be reflecting back on that quite frequently. Great confidence. I feel like there's so much more I want to learn about you. I just didn't feel like I got quite enough, and that's why I couldn't give you a perfect score, because I want to know more about you and a little bit more about your journey, not just that Nichols is helping you and it was a great experience coming here, but what you're going to do with all this, amazing resources being on this campus, and now what? So please, please, please come back next year, because I want to hear everything, and I think you are very much well on your way.
Thank you. Great job. And I kind of similar feedback, and it seems to be the feedback I've been giving a lot of people is I'd love to hear more about you and your skills, what you bring to the table. But great job telling the story. It felt like a conversation. You have a lot of personality, and that really shone through. The one bit of feedback, and I don't know if others picked up, was just watch your hands, especially when holding a microphone, because I think your nails or something was picking up on a little feedback in the beginning, but I think, as you got comfortable, you stopped kind of rattling your fingers together. But other than that, great job. Thank you.
I'm next to Joseph Calder.
Hi, like Gabe said, I'm Joe. I'm a freshman at Nichols here, and I'm a double major in finance and accounting. So when I first got to Nichols, I didn't really want to be here that long. I wanted to take 7 classes a semester, finish really early. But my priority recently has shifted to being one of the most marketable students after I graduate, and I hope to graduate with, a full resume. So currently, a few things I'm doing to achieve that is I'm in the process of joining the Honors College by recommendation from Professor Anderson. I also hope to join the +1 program to receive my MBA after I graduate. And I hope to start taking some online certifications towards my CPA, my CFP. This summer, I'm actually taking my first internship at an accounting firm in Worcester. It's called Bullis Lynch, so I'm super excited about that. A few skills I have, I'm pretty good at using Excel, and I love organizing data. I think that'll help me great in my future. So my end goal really is to be the first on the boss's hire list. I'd love to, after they see everyone's resume, be the top employer. So thank you for your time.
Joe, how'd that feel?
Oh, great.
All right, now that it's over, right? I think you did tell us your story. This goes back to one of the things Jill wanted us to all hear is kind of a little bit about you, what you're doing, and how you're going to get there. So you definitely kind of covered that end to end. I think it was how you delivered it, which is one of the areas you really need to focus on, because otherwise you're extremely impressive. I mean, the whole double major thing, 7 classes, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's where we really wanted to draw you in, but the way you started your delivery was very locked in, very tight, eyes were down, you didn't give me any self-confidence at all. And as somebody who's hired hundreds and hundreds of people around the world, I would have looked at your resume and say, this doesn't look like the same guy, okay? So that's the only thing I would say is take away from this is bring your confidence, bring your personality, because the rest of it is gonna definitely show for itself with your intelligence, your energy, and what you can accomplish. But bring that to the table, because don't forget, people do business with people, so they're hiring a human, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Fran really hit on a lot of great points there, and a lot like what I wanted to say was just try to avoid saying things like, you know, because that makes it a little bit less confident. And he also mentioned like looking down a lot. So maybe instead of looking down, try to look, maybe scan the room. Look for someone that you know in the room. That usually makes, even me when I'm public speaking, that usually will help you just feel a little bit more comfortable. Like he said, you have great qualities. I think the only thing that was missing from the speech for me is I want to know how you got those qualities. Like, I think it's really easy to be like, oh, I'm great at Excel and I'm great at this and that, but why and how? And what's the, I know your greater purpose is getting a job, but why? You know, like, I always like to ask those questions because I was in your shoes too, where I was trying to graduate early and I just wanted to get through school and I just wanted to get the big salary and get out of here. But why? Like, what more is there? There's more purpose behind that, and I'm sure there's things that you've been through in your life that have gotten you this motivated. So next time, just tell us that story. I think that will just make it a little bit more compelling. But overall, great job. Really love your speaking voice. Like, you would be great on a podcast. Just a side note. So
hold on, don't run away, because actually, you know, to Tara's point about, you know, the why, is guys, time goes by really, really fast. I mean, the 3+ decades has gone by in a blink of an eye. So you got to remember, it is a purpose of going out to, you know, get a job or a career. But again, show some passion of the why, because don't forget, you can't get time back. It's the one thing you can't get more of. I don't care how much money you have. And have some fun, right?
Thank you.
In terms about the voice, I'd like you to tell me a story when it's meant. Love it. All right. For the next. Abigail, how do you pronounce your last name? Raka.
Now, you're probably wondering why I would want to be a camp counselor. From being at a very young age, knowing that being sick and not being able to do anything that the normal kids do, that hurts me painfully. But at the Home and Login camp, they serve kids who have all these different kinds of disabilities. They have people who have cancer, kids who can't walk, kids in wheelchairs. Having that experience in the hospital and knowing how to take care of kids with all these different disabilities shows me that I can be a great camp counselor, providing them great courage and how to live their lives through different ways, even though if they have a disability. Doesn't mean that they have to live their life differently. Now, you're probably now thinking that, why would you keep saying this? Why would you do that? Kids at a very young age don't know that they're gonna have to live their life like this forever. Sometimes they grow out of it, sometimes they don't. Being able to be their counselor and show them that they can live like this for the rest of their life, even if they don't have to, would be a great responsibility on my part. Thank you.
Good job, Abigail. You seem a little nervous. I was hoping you'd open up a little, show a little more personality. You seem like a very caring person, which is somebody that we want in a role helping children. And it did come through a little bit. Again, I wish I saw a little bit more personality from you. That's really all I had for feedback. But overall, I thought it was really good. I liked your flow. I liked how you kind of told the story. You kept kind of going to the story and then talking a little bit about some of your skills and qualities that you have. But I wish you dove a little bit deeper into some of your qualities and skills and what you could bring to the table. But good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice job, Abigail. I have to agree with Jill on a couple of points, but first and foremost, I thought you had some really good content. It really struck me. I have a disabled niece myself, and you're actually just talking about camps over the summertime. She's a little bit more limited. She has a hand disability, so there's certain sports camps and things that she can't do. And she's like right at that age where if her friends are going there, she wants to be there. And so I think what I need to say by this is that your words are going to carry a long way and they'll reach someone in the audience, right? It might not be everyone, but it'll be someone more likely than not. And so I hope you can use that kind of as your guiding light to give you that confidence to say what I'm saying really matters, and I hope that somebody hears me, because that will just help you to lose your own natural confidence, because I got you and I have quite an appreciation for the work that you want to do or are doing, or that's in your background, right? It takes a special person to take on that type of role, and so I would love to see a little bit more about your qualities relating to that, and not only why it matters, because I think we understood why it matters, but why it matters so much to you. I think that level, if you can layer that into your speech, that's just going to help you feel a lot more confident. I noticed your mic was really low to start, and I have a feeling maybe you were feeling a little afraid of the mic, which is something that I used to do quite a lot of. Bring it right up. You don't want to eat the mic, but have it at a really nice natural stance, and that's going to just bring you from here to here naturally, because it's going to bring your body posture up, right? You're kind of doing something with intention versus like holding it low and trying to hope that my voice doesn't come out too loud. I promise you won't be too loud, and if you are, you'll notice that very quickly. So great job, and certainly hope you can come back again and keep sharing that story.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Robert Dwyer.
All right, good evening, everyone. Like my man Gabe here said, I'm Robert from South Kingstown, Rhode Island, and I'm a freshman here at Nichols College. I'm a very hardworking and trustworthy person. I feel that if someone gives me a job or a task to put in front of me, it's my job to get that done, while also getting it done well and also efficiently. I'm also very good at overcoming problems and overcoming adversity. I feel that if someone gives me a job, it's my job to do it well because they're relying on me to do it. I also work very well in groups. I work well in groups because I've been a part of many sports teams. I played hockey for most of my life, ever since I was 5 years old. That also makes me very well at running those groups because I was a captain of my hockey team my senior year. Lastly, I'd like to add in that usually I always show up on time. Today I showed up here at 5:55 because hopefully, as we all know, late on time is late. So I showed up. Let's forget about the 2 times I showed up to my 8 a.m. class a little late because it's an 8 a.m. and that doesn't count. So thank you very much for listening to me today, and have a good night.
Okay. Hey, I think you did a pretty good job. I liked the speech overall. I think you have a really good inflection in your voice and the way that you speak. I would have liked to see you not look down so much. I keep saying this to everybody, but just own the room. Have confidence. You paced a lot back and forth, and it was in a way that didn't really make sense. It wasn't like you're trying to walk here to go on the stage and look at the audience here. It was just, I think, out of nervousness, which is totally fine. I get that, and we're all, everyone here is nervous tonight, but just tell us a little bit more, I think, of you and your personality. I think that was a little hard to see throughout the speech, so next time just try to make that shine through a little bit more, and you'll be golden.
All right, good job with everything. What Tara mentioned, I think the best way to put it on how you kind of moved around the stage is your walking, which was very quick, was outpacing your story, so it kind of threw things off a little bit. You definitely tried to watch the room while you were doing it, but it just kind of made the balance of all that a little bit off and a little bit uncomfortable. But just like everybody else, about midway through, you kind of got your stride, so great job with that. So recovering's more than half the battle. The way you listed some of the things about you was really good, kind of brought us in, kind of tell us a little bit, but try to be specific, kind of tie us back. So it's almost like when you're putting something on a resume, if you just put something there and you can't measure it, so what, right? If someone says, so what, to something you present, then it doesn't really go that far. So think about that thing when you tell your story. And, the last thing I would say is, you use the concept, what I've heard from you is kind of you're a bit of a problem solver. And that's a very unique quality at a very young age, so don't be afraid to kind of put that out there and tell them how you solve problems, what the results were.
Thank you.
Gino.
Glad to have you.
All right, Gino DeVito.
Hi, as mentioned, my name is Gino DeVito. I'm a sophomore here on campus. I'm a double major. I'm here to talk about one thing today and something that's impacted me, and that is betting on myself and learning to just say yes to opportunities. Over the past year, I decided to start shooting freelance photography. I started going around schools around campus, and all of a sudden I got asked one day, do you want to work for us? I decided to take a chance on myself and say yes, and since then I've worked hard to prove it why I deserve that position. After that, as everyone's seen my work come out soon, I landed the job of orientation coordinator in the logistics position. With that, I was doing a very similar role by taking photos, getting them out in time, along with setting up and taking down all the events during the orientation process. Throughout that, it taught me a lot and what it meant to really help and make an impact on the area, because me, myself, being a two-season athlete and finding ways to make impact anywhere I can is something I take pride in. After that, and people seeing my resume, I ended up landing an internship with the Holy Cross marketing department this past winter and spring. And I learned all these skills through just saying yes. And if you just realize when you say yes to things, more things will follow. And learning to handle a fast-paced work environment and not get overwhelmed is a valuable skill to have. It's something that I take pride in. Thank you for your time. I hope you all learn to say yes.
Gino, I can jump in. Nice job. How's it feel now that it's done?
Feels good. I mentioned the thing on Friday, so.
We're just going at it. We're just bopping around. I love it. I thought you did a nice job. I really like the theme of betting on yourself. That really stuck out to me, and I thought about it pretty much the whole rest of your speech of, what are all the ways that you've been betting on yourself, and you really made that clear. You're extremely motivated, and that really rang clearly to me as well. So you started with betting on myself and went into freelance photography. I would love to see some of your work, seeing that motivation, and just saying yes, right? I have a feeling that you'll be someone in a few years that you're gonna have to learn how to start saying no. So I think that time will come for you, but in the meantime, keep saying yes, because it's gonna help build yourself up and build up your resume to where you want it to be. Talked a little fast at the start, but then you seem to naturally even out. So just take a minute. Honestly, I think the biggest thing that some of us do is get right on the stage and then we just start talking because we kind of just want to get it done. Take a minute to give yourself credit that you are on the stage, you are betting on yourself. Look around and bring in the environment, because I think that will really help with your confidence level, and you probably would have started with maybe a little bit more of a natural tone, but ultimately I think you're well on your way, and I really enjoyed your speech.
Thank you.
Great job, Gino. I thought you had great energy, you came up very confident, you were well spoken. You made it very clear from the start that one thing you talked about is yourself and all of your accomplishments. You were a well coordinator, two-season athlete, you already had an internship, and you pulled me in with all those things, and that's what I've been looking for, is for people to talk about what they've accomplished, what they can bring to the table. And it's great that you fit all that in there. So great accomplishments and good job tonight.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Lena Basma.
Good evening. My name is Lena Basma, and from a young age, my mother and father instilled in me the belief that your personal practices are most reflective in all aspects of your life. By far, one of my most important personal practices is living with intent. If actions, whether it be in your personal, professional, or academic life, do not have an intention behind them, what do they mean to you? I was able to witness this firsthand during my internship with Massachusetts State Representative Dan Senna. I attended an event alongside Representative Senna, Senator Eldridge, and their constituents who were on the brink of eviction from a low-income housing project. Senator Eldridge and Representative Senna held the power to change these people's lives. And rather than dismissing that power, they took the time to understand what these people truly needed. For my entire life, I saw lawyers and lawmakers and legislators as people whose minds didn't extend beyond the doors of their office. However, I was able to watch the bridge between those who are affected and those who can dictate whether the effect is negative or positive, turn into a road they follow together. Now moving forward in my professional career, I will understand not only the importance of the work I'm producing, but how the work I produce affects those around me. I'm Lena Basma, and I do not do tasks just for completion. I complete tasks with intent. Thank you. Thank you.
Lena, I don't even know where to start. You just dropped the mic for me up there. So, right away when you got up there, I'm like, wow, I always take notes. I'm like, command of the stage. And then when you started speaking, you don't just speak with intent, you deliver with intent. So great job up there. I loved your cadence. The content is perfect. You used the right inflection in your voice at the right times. You really came off as a seasoned pro.
Thank you.
If I was younger, I'd be working for you.
Thank you.
Wait, what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Oh my goodness, okay. I didn't even write anything down because usually I'm just writing down my feedback. You did phenomenal. Like, you drew us in, you spoke with such confidence, and everything that you said just made sense. So I don't really have much else to say other than great job. Keep public speaking. Honestly, like, you should be a paid speaker at this point. It's probably, like the first time you've ever done this?
Yes.
In front of this big of an audience?
Yes.
It's amazing, honestly. Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
I swear, very slow. Alyssa, stop if you're ready.
Hello, as Gabe introduced, my name is Alyssa Subik, and I am 18 years old. I actually just turned 18 this last December, and as one of, if not the youngest student in our school, it has always been a personal goal of mine to establish myself amongst my peers. At Nichols, I am studying marketing, but I also have interest and experience in management as well. On campus, I'm involved in many different ways. I am currently the secretary for the class of 2027, and I'm a part of many different clubs and committees, such as the Marketing and Rugby Club, and I am a student representative for the Student and Residential Life Committee, and I'm a marketing assistant for our Spring Concert Committee. As of right now, I plan on pursuing a career in marketing. I'm getting practical exposure in this field through being a marketing assistant, but I'm eager to gain more. I am hoping in the future to maybe gain more experience in social media marketing, but I am hoping that I can get any opportunity that I can get. Thank you so much for giving me a minute of your time, for listening to me and hearing a little bit about myself. Thank you.
Great job. Just right off the bat, the one bit of advice would be just to slow down. I was trying to take notes about all the wonderful things you did, and I was writing so fast, and we're on to the next kind of great accomplishment you had. So slow down, but otherwise you have a great personality. You were smiling, you made eye contact. You talk about how young you are. You've already accomplished so much at such a young age. No doubt you're going to go on to do great things. But again, just watch your pace. It was the only thing I wish. I almost couldn't take in everything you were saying just because you were speaking so fast. But overall, great job.
Thank you.
Nice job, Melissa. I really enjoyed listening to you, and you just really wowed me. I was like getting your resume real life, front and center. I'd love to hire you if I could. I don't think that's up my alley, but I think Tara right over here might be something you want to talk to after.
I'm interested.
So basically, if this was a Shark Tank for a job, I mean, you definitely had us right there. I thought it was just really, really well done. You're definitely fast. That was the only thing I wanted to take in everything you're doing, because you're doing so much, and that's incredibly impressive. So I can see that you really have, taken all the experiences here at Nichols firsthand. You're really, really embracing the curriculum and the education. I think that's going to serve you very well. And I just think you're very professional. I think you have a really nice something about you. I just really like it. So just work on being a little fast, and I think that just is nerves, and here I am rambling myself. So honestly, it's easier said than done, but I think you are quite talented. So great job.
You.
All right, we got two more. Garrett Hurley, you're up next. You ready?
Good evening, everyone. So my name, like Gabe says, is Garrett Hurley, and I took the risk a couple years ago to go ahead and get a job at a used car lot, which I'm a gearhead. My wallet, unfortunately, knows that. All my money's gone. But anyway, so with that new job, I've learned a lot of skills. I've met a lot of great people, and learned that there are two workers in this world. Workers who show their potential and are very motivated, and workers who, unfortunately, are unmotivated or just content with who they are. And with that job, I met a mechanic and worked alongside him, and that mechanic is a perfect example of a hardworking and motivated individual. And while working alongside him, I picked up the work ethic he had, and every skill they showed me around the shop, and showed me how to engage with people, how to just simply do a job correctly and get the job done right, not done. And with that new job, and getting that new job was a little bit of it's scary for me. I wasn't really good with tools at the beginning, but I ended up getting in and persevered and was able to show myself worthy at that job. I was able to work my way up and become a contributor in the business for my boss. And hopefully everyone enjoyed my story, and thank you for listening, everyone.
Great job. I think you were very well spoken. I think you came in with so much confidence that it was almost too much confidence that it was hard to carry that throughout. I could tell just kind of halfway you started to get a little bit nervous, which is normal. I did that multiple times in a row. So I think, moving forward, if you just practice to the extent where you know your stuff, but then can still make it, a little conversational, but really just telling that story once again, I think that's what will have you, succeeding even more in the future. One thing I really liked about the speech, especially at the beginning, is how you said, I have two things, and you listed out 1 and 2. That makes it easier to follow the speech, and I think you just had overall good use of body language and it helps you tell the story. So I really appreciated you adding that to the speech. And then you were one of the few people here tonight that actually smiled during your speech. So I commend you for that, because it is really hard to smile when you're super nervous and up there on stage. So great job for just kind of getting those smiles in there, getting the body language in there. Overall, just keep going forward. Great job.
Thank you.
So, Garrett, I picked up right away when you got up there, you had stage presence. You sounded confident, you looked confident, you started off with some fun and some humor, which I absolutely loved. To Tara's point, I liked how you used the 2 when you did the list. And to the latter part of that, I call those kind of people at-leasters. So, you're gonna run into a lot of them in your life, okay? Doesn't make them bad, but it's not what you're gonna be looking forward to. When you got into your story side, because you're starting off with a point and you kind of got into a story to kind of bring in a parallel, that's where you stumbled a little bit. And I'm not sure if it was just because you're trying to make it a little bit more softer or human. So I lost that connection. That's where it kind of lost me a couple points for you there. But I think the key thing is that I like how you brought it in, but you got to keep that same level of consistency from kind of end to end, right? So you started on a really high note, and then you kind of trailed a little bit in the middle, and then you kind of swung back up a little bit, right? So where, most storytelling kind of starts here, peaks here, and it carries you through, right? You just kind of hit a little bit of a lull. You didn't want to do that. Okay? Great job.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more student here to close us out for the evening, the speech at least. For now, Drossa Turco, welcome to the stage.
Hello everyone. As you heard, my name is Josh Turco, and I'm a freshman here studying psychology. I've been on the Nichols College volleyball team for a while now. See, I've been playing sports almost my entire life. And as a kid, I always wanted to be the leader. So I grew up and I made that job possible. I became a captain, and soon I hope to be a coach of my own team one day. But when it comes to leading, it's about knowing other people. It's about understanding who they are. And ask a question of, how can I help someone to be their best? It's an easy question to ask, but not so easy to answer. These are the type of questions that I love. They make me who I am. I love to take challenges right on. And I love to be able to get in the thick of it and know what I'm doing and doing. Overall, doing what I love comes when I'm leading, when I'm a captain or a coach. I hope that through this speech, I made all of you know that I love to do this, and one day I hope I can. Thank you.
Oh, nice job. It's just as hard being the last as it is the first, and I'd argue maybe even sometimes harder because you're just taking in everything we're saying, you're making adjustments in your head, you're probably agonizing over your speech, at least I would if I were in your shoes. I'm not sure how that went for you tonight, but it is very hard going last, and I just really enjoyed your presence. I thought you had such a nice smile, such great tone, so calm, cool, collected. I really, really just appreciated what you had to share. You said doing what, something along the lines of doing what I love comes when I'm learning, and I just felt like it was really honest and true and very just humble. Like I think you're probably a really great teammate. You're someone I'd want to hire for that reason alone. So awesome job. Like I said, tough going last, but you sure went out with a bang. So nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, Joshua. You come off very, I think, cool, collected, just relaxed, great pace. You weren't too nervous, you weren't fidgeting. I really like, you came up right at the bat and said you wanted to be a leader and you love helping people. And then you tied it into kind of your current position as a captain and you eventually want to be a coach. You can tell you're passionate about people. I thought, again, just your presence and how you exuded yourself came out great. My only one bit of advice would just be to hold your microphone a little closer to your mouth. You're a little soft-spoken and it's a little hard to hear you at times, but otherwise I thought it was awesome. Great job.
Thank you.
Alright, so you guys have noticed the judges have all returned, and I have the magic clipboard with the scores. So, you guys want to know who wins?
Yes!
Get a little trouble. We're going to start with third place. Alright, in third place, we have $300. Sophia Leonardi, congratulations. Well done to end up high at the start. We had a really interesting competition. We had a lot of really good speeches tonight. It was great.
Bring the winners on the stage.
What?
Bring the winners on the stage.
All right. Now in second place, I know this is a big one for contention between Lena and Tasana. I'm going to give this one to Tasana. All right. Now the big number we've all waited for. Can anyone guess what a previous winner is? It's a hard one. Yeah. Lena, welcome to the stage. Congratulations. And Luis, I see you over there a little bit annoyed about the last one, but we do have a consolation prize for you. As I want to mention, Luis, you get $200.